Hey everybody, welcome back to Tears Over Beers. That is where we rank things in a tier list while drinking beers.
But today we're not actually drinking beer. If you watched our was it early 2000s movie tier list?
Comedy
Yeah.
movies in the 2000s.
You may remember we talked about The Longest Yard, and that we came up with a drink called The Longest Yard, and it's twisted tea mixed with Captain Morgan's, and it's something that teenagers would probably drink. But we wanted some nostalgia because we're early 20s probably, but
Yeah,
maybe dude.
little throwback to the old, really drunken days.
Yeah, so we're drinking those tonight. Comment below if you think that sounds disgusting or really disgusting. And with that, we're on
And
our
either
way.
way, you're probably correct,
Yeah.
but it's still happening, so there you go.
Yeah. Oh, we're ranking board games.
Yes, if we didn't mention that.
Yeah, we don't think we mentioned.
These are board games.
And we just picked,
most of them we have played,
yeah,
actually.
we just picked this one because I know there's all sorts of new awesome board games, and we've played a bunch of those, but
This is
one
more classic.
Yeah,
More like stuff that most everybody's played, so we don't have to have a whole giant, 2 rows of haven't played,
yeah, 'cause
everything
we
else.
have played a lot of new board games, but there would just be so many haven't
Yeah.
played also. So let's
Yeah.
do this.
I now made a fucking money.
Yeah, fuck that.
Number 1, Carcassonne.
I think it's an S.
I love this game.
It's a great game.
Awesome. It's really
it's a-
cut off the logo here,
Yeah.
but
it's a tile placement game. Strategy.
You get to build the map as you go by randomly turning over tiles, player by player. So it's pretty intriguing. Like, it's not the same every time ever.
And there's much different sets you can play with. So every
different
game's
rules, different ways to score points. Keeps it interesting.
And you can choose to just kind of do your own thing, or you can also try to screw over your opponent, which I enjoy doing.
Which Ryan does a lot, pretty much every time.
It's a legitimate strategy.
Yeah, he's an asshole. All right, Gloomhaven. We haven't played. I do really want to play it someday. Maybe when
it?
Ryan's son is older.
Is it a complicated game?
I don't know if it's necessarily complicated. I think it's maybe more like D&D based.
Oh, okay.
But it's a game it's considered like a you normally only play through it once, and it's like a very long campaign.
All right. Yeah.
So you have to leave it set up and keep coming back to it over time, and it takes a long time to play. It's not like a one evening game.
We'll play that when we're 50 or something.
Yeah.
mean,
yeah. I do have it.
Oh shit, you do?
I do have it, but
Fuck, damn.
but I know that we're not gonna be able to play it anytime soon. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be sitting for a while.
Right. Chess.
Chess, I mean, chess is probably an S tier game.
Yeah, it's either
I
S
don't know if
or-
you could call it anything else.
I mean, you could maybe call it A, but I mean, it's probably S.
And I mean, I like chess. I'm not particularly good at chess, but I'm better than some people, I suppose.
I mean, I'm pretty good against other people that aren't versed in it, but if I play anyone that's taken any time to learn the game and the strategies around it, I'll just get fucking smoked.
Mm-hmm. I do remember once playing against someone that wasn't really that familiar with chess,
Yeah.
and I ended up not just that I was beating them, but went around the board taking all their pieces as well.
You dick.
Yeah, it was kind of mean, but it was also kind of fun because I don't usually get to do that much playing chess. So, yeah. Cranium.
I haven't played.
I haven't played Cranium either.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
That's surprising.
I
Never
don't think I
played that,
know anyone that owns this
but-
game.
Yeah.
I've heard of it,
Yeah.
but
Uh,
Ticket to Ride.
That's a good game.
I think it's like an A.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think A.
Yeah.
I
It's
haven't
not
played it
like
in a while, but it's a lot of fun.
it's really fun. It's really like it's more like a casual, easy to get into. Like
Yeah.
it can get tricky, particularly some of the like new other versions, not just like the base version.
I think one of the things that would take it down from an S for me is just because you're pretty sure you need 3 players to play it.
I think it's 2 to 5, but I think that it's optimal to have more than 2 players.
You might be right.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you needed 3, but I don't know. Yeah, either way, I think it's definitely recommended for at least 3.
Yeah.
Whereas Carcassonne, am I saying that right?
Carcassonne?
I don't know.
I don't know,
we
it's
call
French.
We call it French game. So
French game.
that's a really like it's good with more players, but we can just play that with 2. I mean, shit.
Yeah,
like
I think 3 or 4 is the best for Ticket to Ride, but I think you can play it with 2 player, but it's maybe the rules are slightly different for less.
Yeah, and I mean, if you have like a game group you play with, then maybe it doesn't matter. But I like to have the option to play with just 2 players.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Anyway, apples to apples.
Apples to apples. All right, so apples to apples originally it was
Yeah.
probably an S.
But now,
But something further down on this list really knocked it down.
video killed the radio star, as they say. And I think just because of it, it led to so many games like it. I want to give it a high B.
High B. Yep.
Yeah, it got it.
Yeah.
And if you're playing with your family, and your family isn't the type of family that
Can play one of these derivative.
yeah, if you're playing with
games.
kids, then apples to apples is great, but not so much.
It's
for
a little
adults
too.
now.
It it had the potential to be crazy, so we were able to kind of mold it into a
Right.
warped sense of
Yeah,
humor.
we still made it
yeah,
dirty
we
somehow,
still
so.
made things like wrong or offensive
Yeah.
somehow, but wrong or offensive cards came out in other games.
Yes.
and this just is too tame now. It's just too
Battleships.
Battleship.
You sunk my battleship.
Battleships. I feel like it's like a low B or high C. What do you think?
I actually quite like Battleship.
I like it. It's just not. It's not like a game I go out of my way to play usually.
Yeah, and but I think it's a B. I like it actually quite a lot, but I don't think it's an A. So let's.
Yeah, I don't think it's an A.
I think B is fair.
What's this next one?
Candyland.
Candyland.
We made a drinking Candyland game. One time.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
In which we didn't.
Oh,
really...
it's perfect. So
Well, was it perfect though?
it's perfect if you want to get drunk. So what is it like? So every time
Well, you pick up a.
every time you
card.
move a space, you get to give a drink out.
Yes.
And
so,
every time you go back a space, you have to take a drink.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, if you don't remember how Candyland works, you pick over the card, and it just has a color on it, and you go to that next color space. Well, it could be fucking.
I mean, so
12 spaces
typically when you go forward, it's not a huge amount. It's usually like less than 10.
No, I guess
think-
you're right. Yeah.
But sometimes when you go back,
Yeah, you can land on like a slide or whatever.
sometimes when you go back, there's specific cards that say go to this location, and it could be. I think the most I had, I think it was like 26 spaces back or something like that, and it's like, okay, drink 26 times, and I'm like, I'm just gonna finish my whole beverage. I don't think I'm. There's a point to counting this.
Yeah. So I mean, I remember as a kid,
Okay,
I liked
so
it quite a bit.
let's just say Candyland, not the drinking version.
Yeah,
Where
just
do
the
we-
regular,
Where do we
yeah.
rank regular Candyland?
I mean, I remember I liked it as a kid, and it's fun as a kid, but it's really, I don't know. There's
it's
not
definitely
that much
more of a
to
kid
it.
game.
It's definitely a kid.
It's
game.
very simple. You can't really lose, right?
I mean, whoever gets to the end first wins. I mean,
But there's not like there's nothing that like kicks you like
No.
you have to sit out during the game.
But we should still consider it as a kids game. But there's better kids games. I don't know.
Do you think a C?
Probably C.
Yeah, I think so.
Cards Against Humanity.
The aforementioned apples to apples killer.
Top of the S. I think it's...
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, since, the pandemic / Backstreet Boys tour, whatever name you want to give to it, haven't really got to play a solid round of this since then because it's hard to be able to have that many people in a
that, and then all
group.
these fucking idiots had kids. Oh wait, I did that too.
Oh yeah, you did that too.
Now no one can hang out anymore. So
yeah, no. But I mean, even if we were younger and didn't have kids, we still would have that problem. Like, you couldn't have a large group of people. So, and Cards Against Humanity, it's fine with smaller groups, but it's excellent with larger groups.
Yeah,
the larger the better.
Well, it breaks down eventually.
Until you get to like 8 or more.
Yeah, I think 5 or 6 is optimal. Probably 6. I think 6 is probably like the best amount of people.
Yeah, and then you get like 8 or 10 people, and you get like that one person in the group who doesn't find anything funny and will pick like the most logical card, and
or
not
just,
like
everyone starts drinking in our group anyway, and then we all start laughing about things, which is great. But then everyone starts talking, and it takes 10 minutes to get through a fucking round, and it's like, well, maybe there's a few.
Also, it always sucks when you play like a kill card and it doesn't get picked, and you're just like, why'd I waste that? Why'd I waste that on that person?
You gotta be careful about who you play it on, because some people just don't have the same sense of humor, and that's part
true.
of the game.
It's true.
Yeah.
Catan.
It's another S tier. I might even put that.
Do you want to put it above Carcassonne?
I'd put it. What do you think? I'd put it around it, either above or below.
I'm gonna put it. You know what? Actually, so here's my thing here. I think it's better when you have 3 people.
Yeah, we can't play with 2, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
again,
versus Carcassonne, you can play with 2 people, so I'm gonna rank that higher for that reason.
I agree.
But if you're playing 3-player Catan or 3-player Carcassonne, Catan is better.
Yep. Shoots and ladders. Oh, and also Catan, you got that expansion where you can play 5 or 6 people. Yeah.
It gets a little crazy. Like, games take a long time when you do that many people, but it is cool that you can do that.
Yeah.
So another kids games like Candyland.
Yeah, I mean, what's better, Candyland or Shoots and Ladders?
I think Candyland's better.
It's got candy in it. Yeah, fuck it.
It's got candy. Bubblegum and taffy.
Clue. Clue's a good game.
Communism. That's just a red herring.
And there's a great movie. That should have been... Oh, it's not... was that early 90s? Oh, wait, we did 2000s comedy movies. Never mind.
Yeah.
But Clue...
Maybe there's a 90s one.
Maybe. If you haven't watched the fucking movie Clue, great comedy movie. Fucking awesome. I guess it's kind of a cult classic.
Yeah, it's super sarcastic and dry, and it's definitely not for everybody.
No, but it's
so if you like that kind of thing, it's great.
But the board game...
The board game Clue...
I think it's... I mean, if we're putting apples to apples in B, then I think Clue's an A or the top of the B.
I'm going to put it at the bottom of the A for now.
Okay.
I also have a fond memory of playing this with somebody who maybe wasn't the smartest person that I know. And they said... I want to be Colonial Mustard. And that is one of my all-time favorite Clue memories.
I mean...
As to where you say, you don't get to pick who you're going to be.
But yeah, you do.
Huh?
You do.
Well, like...
Yeah, you get to pick your piece.
Random...
No, you get to pick your piece.
Oh, I guess.
But, no, she was right about that, but...
And it's not Colonial, it's Colonel.
Yeah.
Aww.
I mean, I think, right? I mean, the pieces are all colored.
I'm pretty sure I've played where you can where it's random.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
you probably can play where you can pick too.
Yeah, I think I always did. But
I mean,
who knows?
it's, you know,
It's whatever.
house rules, whatever.
Shits and anuses.
Shits and anus.
Oh wait, Axis and Allies.
Axis and Allies. I haven't played this.
I think it's supposed to be good. My dad.
I would probably like it.
Yeah, when I was a kid, and probably still now actually, at my parents' house, my dad had a bunch of old board games under his bed. I think Axis and Allies was one of them. Like Diplomacy and Risk were some of them. Definitely played Risk. That was probably the easiest of them all. And,
so this is harder than playing Risk?
Oh, yeah. And then there was like Axis and Allies and Diplomacy. We even played a little bit of Diplomacy. But Axis and Allies, I think, was just like... He was like, no, that's too confusing. We're not playing that one. So, but I think it probably is a good game. But
Gotcha. HTZ, a.k.a. Yahtzee. Man, they've really cut some of these logos off pretty bad.
I fucking love Yahtzee. I'm not going to lie.
I think Yahtzee is probably an A.
Yeah, I'd personally put it above Clue, I think. And you know what? Another reason I really love it, and especially as a kid, and this is going to sound a little sad, but it's not really sad. It's just, it is what it is. Like, I would play it alone a lot, just because, you know, you're a kid. You don't always spend time with friends or shit. You can play Yahtzee by yourself and just, like, try to get, like, a fucking high score.
Yeah.
And I remember having a lot of fun doing that. Like, it I don't know. For me, it just, it hit the spot. I like that Yahtzee.
All right. Jenga.
It's good. I don't love it, but I like it.
I want to say it's right below Battleship.
It gets kind of, you know, it's exciting. Like, you play it once, and it's like, hey, I did this, and like, oh, I fell over, yay!
It's kind of cool when you see stuff like, if you remember, we went to a place that had like a giant Jenga.
There's a lot of like breweries and
it's like
bars and stuff that have that.
Interesting stuff like that, and it's like it's cool to check out for a few minutes, like hang out and get everybody to be like, oh, come on, let's just try and do this once, and then you move on.
Yeah, it's kind of fun, and then like it falls, and then someone's like, you guys want to play again? And then you're like, eh.
It's more like a reference when you're dealing with like in real life, like where stuff gets stacked and you're like, shit, this is fucking Jenga. Like you move something, it's all gonna collapse.
Yeah, maybe the older I get,
maybe more like people refer to Jenga more than they actually play it.
Yeah, maybe I hate Jenga, or I don't hate it, but I dislike it. Or sorry, don't just even like it. I like it less as I get older because it's just like it's stressful. It's like, I don't need this stress in my life. I've got enough real stress. You stack
and you're like, this is just like when I moved a lot into my house.
Yeah. Like, fuck that.
SpongeBob. Very Squidward ones.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry is a good game.
Sorry, I think is an A.
I think it is too, actually.
What do you think it is in... You think it's above Clue?
I would say yes. Clue is probably
right here in between Yahtzee and Clue.
Yeah, I think Clue is like it could be. It's like the more thought out game probably, but
it's definitely more thought out. Sorry has more luck involved.
But Clue's sure. Like you got to be ready to play Clue, and you got to like a lot of thinking involved. Yeah. Sorry, you can just sit down. There's still a strategy, but like you can just sit down anytime and fucking play Sorry with a group of friends, and it's like that was a good time.
Yeah, and it's a fun game. It's not complicated to learn or explain or anything. So pretty much anyone can play it. Kids can play it, but it's not.
Oh, we play. I mean, I haven't played it recently, but we fucking as adults we play this.
But it's something that if you just like you're like I want to play a game, but I don't want to play like something drawn out or complicated or whatever. Even if it's not like the fastest game to play, but it's still simple enough that you can just...
Or if we want to play with my wife, who she can play the more difficult games, but they take a long time, and she's usually like, well, I want to go to bed in a while, and we're like, let's just play a quick game of Sorry. So I'm looking at our time here, and I'd like to say we could finish this in one video, but I think
I think that I was just going to say, I think we should probably... Well, actually, let's
Throw
just
Blockus
throw.
in the
I haven't
fucking
played
haven't played.
Blockus. Let's put that in haven't played, and then the rest of these we will rank next time on Tears Over Beers.
All right, we'll see you then.